Hello and welcome to another episode of Press
Hello.
Start to Begin. This is the podcast you've been waiting weeks for some people, literally,
Months,
in
probably
Karis's
years,
case.
honestly.
But welcome. This is another episode. We've got some funny ass stuff to talk about today and a guest so sexy that I'm
Oh
actually not
God,
wearing any pants right now.
I've run out of kitchen roll. Honestly, I literally just had to run to co-op, and it's just like, what do I do with that? He's also not taller than me, like everyone else in this bloody community, this amazing community that I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but Grimwood community, very, very good. You should join discord.gg/Grimwood.
I've never heard
Take
of
it away,
them,
Jake.
but they sound great and I would definitely join. It sounds
It was
perfect to me.
it was told by Gandhi in 2025 that Grimwood community was the best place on earth.
I mean, that sounds legitimate. I have to get behind it. Like,
I'm serious. I went to school with him in Nuneaton. Not that I'm living in Nuneaton or anything. Please don't stalk me.
well, Gandhi is famously from Nuneaton, as everyone knows.
You do not see him on the news? Like he just like stole someone's motorbike. Just I just don't understand. It's so weird, man.
Sean, we've done that. Right? We've done that thing again. Do you remember when we had Reiner on and he was like, "Why did no one tell me that we're wearing white?" Well, this week we've accidentally coordinated again. So I guess it's wearing black week for the podcast this week.
Is meant to be, yeah.
And also, neither of us are wearing pants, so
this is true. Yeah, I would stand up, but then the stream would die. So it is what it is.
Emo special, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Jack. See, the only difference between you and I is that I'm wearing a hat, and you remember when I said I swear you were a beanie guy. I don't know why, but I saw something that put a beanie on your head. The reason why I'm wearing a beanie is because my hair is absolutely trash today, and I want to look the absolute best for the best people. You got to give back what you back give. You know that famous saying. Gandhi again.
Gandhi 2025. Give back what you back give. That's going to be a poster. I'm going to put that everywhere. I'm cosplay as Reiner. So me and T did a Baldur's Gate 3 stream yesterday, and I inevitably made a character that looked like me, and but his hair was down. So Reiner said, "I'm only interested in watching you play Baldur's Gate 3 if you cosplay as your characters." So I took my hair down like the leading female character in a 90s rom-com and became beautiful. And here we are.
Very nice.
So I'm cosplaying as my Baldur's Gate character today.
Just a quick question. Did you die in that game?
No.
Because if you did, I'm sorry, but you're not cosplaying very well.
Well, I came back to life, right? So, it's fine.
The wise words of Sylvanas, you'd make a very handsome corpse. Where was that said? Quickly. Where was it said?
I don't know. Where was that said?
Oh my God. It was before Galacrus in Seas of Orgrimmar. Bro, do you even play
WoW? She said you'd make a really handsome corpse.
Yeah. You know, that's when Galacrus falls down and then there's like dust, and then the Blood Elf dude, forgot his name, is of Lordaeron. He's just like, ugh, I'm never going to get this dust out of my robes. And then Sylvanas is like, corpse.
I mean, this is now the second week in a row, or second podcast in a row we've talked about necrophilia, or skirted around the outside of it.
It's also one of our tags, right? I mean, is it? Oh no, that's nostalgia. Sorry,
nostalgia. I can't yeah. We couldn't. If we hadn't run out of tags, it would have been the 10th one, obviously, but we did. All right, we've got some news. Listen to this news because it's going to blow your brains out. And speaking of brains getting blown out or not getting blown out, in this case, Razer headset stops bullet. What? Yeah, apparently. A Reddit user's life was apparently saved after his Razer headset stopped a stray bullet launching into his head. The shooting took place right outside his house, and a bullet happened to come through the window and hit his headset. There were pictures, and just like last week or the last episode, if this was a professional podcast, I would be able to display these pictures in this live video stream.
What we need to do is we need to act it out. Do you know that Stickman Pivot game? Where you basically make like different scenes, like each time you move his knee and then do a scene and then that. We should We should like reenact all of these stories on like like the Stickman pivot game.
Well, I'll describe the picture for anyone. This is going to be really boring for people listening. So if you're listening to this, you can skip forward about 30 seconds if you like. But like, see this top bit of the headset, you know, like the bit that joins the cups together. Like there was a bullet hole in it. Like, yeah, the ear cups. What else are they? What do you
Wait,
call them?
what? So it was in the top. What was he doing? Was he
So
leaning down to like scratch his leg and then like he got shot like
maybe it
in the
like
head?
ricocheted off the roof or something. I don't know. But the picture had like a
Off the
bullet hole
ceiling?
like here. Not a
Is
hole,
this
like it hit it
ceiling
and
made of
bounced off.
titanium?
Well,
It's
what's his
not
headset
plastic.
made of? That's what I want to know because it was quite like a big. I mean, maybe like this has just been dramatically. Maybe it was just like a pellet. Do you know what I mean, or a BB? Maybe it wasn't like a real bullet.
Possibly, yeah.
And
But there's been like things that it's like pinged off of before. It could, and all the conditions can occur, you know, like angle and all that. Angle, by the way, veering off to the right, AA. I think it's a marketing stunt. I reckon someone in Razer headquarters was just like, "We're gonna have ideas, marketing team. Tell me what you could do for me." And then some guy is just like, "I'm gonna go and shoot someone with our merchandise and see how powerful the headset is."
well, I think they were like, "Look, guys, we're really running out of ways to make headsets innovative. What can we add to
Yeah.
it?" And someone went, "Make them bulletproof," and everyone else was like, "That's a stupid idea." But just do it because we've got nothing else to run with. And then by complete circumstance, like it happened, and they were like, "Holy shit, we did this. We did this. We saved that person's life."
See, this is genius because now their demographic has opened up to the army. So now the army can have Razer headsets.
I mean, it's all they're missing, to be honest. If there's one thing the army needs, it's branded merchandise. They've really had like
Just
a bad,
really
you know,
green, like in the desert. Just you just see like neon green, like
like the
headsets
glowing
just
logo on the ear
exploding
cups.
green.
It's like, what's that over there? Oh, it's just you know, natural desert stuff. Don't worry about that.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ!
Oh.
All right, moving on. Next news piece. Are you gonna take it, or shall I take this absolutely stick of Xbox news piece?
I think you should you take this one. Go on.
I
You can tell
basically
this one.
said half it.
You can
anyway.
do a bit of news.
So, I need to be a bit new. So next news: man sick of Xbox asks to go to jail instead of staying in house arrest. That's an interesting one. Why didn't you just go on PC? Like every person that's gone from console to PC has never looked back in their entire life. They're actually a better person now. They've like leveled up. They're elevated.
I don't really
As soon as they
like.
went to PC, a new car appeared on their drive. Like that. That's the sort of like pristineness, if that's a word.
The thing I don't understand, right, about this one is like, even if you're sick of Xbox, if you're playing Xbox and like, you know what, I'm really bored of playing Xbox. I'm really bored of being in my house here. I can almost guarantee that being in jail is definitely worse, right? Like, like no matter how boring the inside of your house is, it would have to be pretty terrible for you to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go like, and or he just preferred PlayStation and he wasn't allowed one, so he was like, you know what,
I guess so. Yeah.
PlayStation or jail.
This might hurt the Xbox community, but are you surprised by the Xbox community stunts? Like anything could happen and it would seem normal to them.
I mean, it's mad, isn't it? Because like, what? I don't know how, like house arrest, right? What are we talking? Like maybe you did a bit of money laundering. Is that too high for house arrest? I don't really know the levels that you reached.
We
to get
really
house
should
arrest,
have. Again, if this was a professional stream, we would show it by getting house arrested ourselves. Yes. Trial by fire.
We
and
can't
we can
prove
then show
we're
you
not.
What we can't do.
We can't prove we're not under house arrest, right?
We would take the camera outside and be like, "Look, guys, this is what happens with house arrest." So then we just get tackled by some police officer.
What do you like? What crime do you think you could do that you only get house arrest for? Like what? Because it's got
Stalking? No,
you wouldn't get. You'd probably just get like
that would be
told
like
off.
a thingamabobby that you're not allowed in a certain radius of the person. That wouldn't be house arrest. House arrest.
I don't know. I don't know what you'd have to do because, like, what situation are you allowed in your house, but you're just not allowed outside? But also you don't have to go to jail for that. That's quite like a niche thing to be arrested for, right? Like,
Yeah.
or a niche style of arrest. I don't know. That's beyond the scope of what we know. We don't know anything about this. We
Let us
barely know
in the
about gaming.
comments what
Like,
you think. Oh
all
God,
right. Well,
Jesus.
moving on from house arrest to
Swiftly.
urine. That's right. These two things do link, but don't
I,
worry about how.
wait, I'm in.
You're in. You're in.
I'm in.
Coca-Cola Park, that's a sports venue for people that don't know. Coca-Cola Park, it's in America as well, is the
Of course it
first venue to feature urinal gaming system. Coca-Cola Park will be the first sports venue in the world to feature a brand new revolutionary urinal gaming system, allowing fans to
Right, okay.
interact with the world's truly hands-free urinal game controller. I mean, I'm
So,
glad it's hands-free. That's my first thought. Like, that's good because I don't want to touch things around a urinal.
well, if you think about it, we've all played. Well, I'm speaking for men. So, sorry, because I don't have experience with ladies. No, wait, no. I want to rephrase that. No, I have experience with ladies. No, it's going wrong.
You said what you
I
said.
don't have experience. I don't have experience weeing as a lady. So we've all played the retro game of, like, if there's a bit of marking on the toilet, would aim for that. So technically speaking, we've already played the retro game. So is this just like there's like things digitally like moving around the sink, not sink, the toilet?
I like to think, although I
Like,
don't think this is reality, but in my head, yeah, I've gone high concept with this. So you watch people and they're like, I completed Elden Ring with a drumstick and a banana. Like I
oh
like to
no.
think this is like, oh, I played Mario 64 by by peeing, basically. Just use the
Could
loo.
you imagine?
So like maybe that's what it is. They just play like N64 games, or not specifically N64. Other consoles are available. Could be one of them. I don't know. But playing
Yeah.
games where you use your flow to control character movement. That's what I like to think.
That would require quite a lot of like Kegel practice.
Also, you
And I
wouldn't
think
like
that
finish a
would work.
level, surely, right? You'd run out of like Wii quite quickly.
That's the thing. It's a community effort. By the way, Grimwood community is amazing. I forgot to say, it's a community effort because you continue where the last
Yeah.
person left off. Wait, yeah, that's genius.
That's a good advert for us. Do you like peeing with other people? Come join Grimwood. We can all pee together. There you go. That's it. That's the line.
If you're not feeling very good at this session, I'll continue it.
Oh, I like to think we're just in a queue, and at the back of the queue, there's like just a bucket of water that people are just like gulping out of, ready
Yeah.
to stand up for their turn.
Is
Oh
your
my
partner
God.
dissatisfied? I will continue after you finish.
Consensually, by the way, Twitch, consensually.
In game.
Also, we should probably mention this week we have got a dad. Fine, last week, not last. I keep saying last week, but
Oh
it's only a
yeah.
weekly thing. Last
2 weeks
episode,
ago.
2
we were
weeks
looking for
ago,
Dad.
we were looking for a dad. We found a dad, and that dad is T. T can hear this, but he can't speak right now. But T is here, and he is our dad, and he's watching this chat for us. And also, he's going to message us when he thinks we're saying stuff that might get us kicked off Twitch. So we'll just keep our eyes open for that because it's probably going to happen.
Oh God, where were we? Where are we?
I don't know, mate. Do another bit of news, won't you? Bloody hell.
Okay.
Come on.
We are on news, everyone. Yay.
News.
Okay. Last but not least, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. I'm well excited for this, unironically. It's so the release date is this year, and the newest brawler is Plankton, so it is down for pre-order. It's basically like a Mortal Kombat, but for like Nickelodeon like characters. Like, could you imagine being SpongeBob and like slapping the shit out of Squidward? Like, that's beautiful. And then like the background being Bikini Bottoms or something.
Is Plankton like life size, like as in like?
Oh no, it's like a robotic Plankton. It's so
Oh
good.
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. What other brawl games could you make of existing series? I'm just trying to think.
They did one
covered.
Because I know, like, obviously there's the famous ones, right? The like Super Smash Brothers, but there was one for Final Fantasy. Do you remember? This was on, I think it was PSP or it might have been Vita, and it was called Dissidia.
No, that was the PlayStation ones.
Was it Dissidia?
Oh, what's it called? I can remember the intro. music because it's a really good song actually. Fuck, which one is it?
I
Because that's got
can't.
like Snake and Metroid
No,
and
because no, that's Super Smash Metroid's Nintendo.
I'm thinking of a different. It's like a robot person.
Yeah, that's Super Metroid, and like Snake is in Smash Brothers, and so is like Sonic and stuff like that. There's there's loads of random
Am I getting
characters.
the crossover?
But there
What
was.
am I thinking of?
Oh
Oh no, I'm
God.
thinking of the Uncharted dude. Got his name.
Oh, Drake, Nathan Drake, whatever he's
Yeah,
called.
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Indiana Jones, young Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake ripoff. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just a Final Fantasy one, but maybe I've just made that up in my head. But there's not
Probably,
many
yeah, it was a
like
dream.
there's not many Brawl game. I mean, there's like Brawl Halo, which is all right, I guess,
Very
but
cool.
not as good
Yeah,
as like Smash Brothers has definitely got that market cornered. Why aren't there
yeah,
more of them?
easily.
We had this conversation before, didn't we, about like Mario Kart? You know, there's not really many like kart game. Not like I know there's a Sega one, like Sega Team Racing or whatever it's called, Sonic Team
I
Racing.
guess it's like saturation because the competitor being so far ahead, and then like the only expansion you can really do is like additional characters and additional like tracks. I guess. I mean, you can have like more power ups in that, but and then it just becomes a game of like full RNG. It's just like, oh, you wait for this one power up out of the 9,000 of them, and then it's good to go. I guess it's just one of those games where it's just like, I know there's like esports in like Smash Brawl and that, but I think that's because they've got it so down to the T where they've got like all the power ups that are useful. There's some better than others, but some are situational, etc. I think the expansion in the game's sort of like quite limited in that regard. Almost like the FIFA conversation again. It's simply just you just add characters, add environments, and that's it. You can't really expand on skill set or like scenario potential or anything.
Well, I guess they can. Like why aren't like I played this game. You might have heard us talk about it. Me and Smokey talk about this, and when he comes on, we might probably talk about it more. But like Mod Nation Racers was like a Mario Kart knockoff type thing. But like the way it was different is you could customize everything. Like people made like you could be like the Monopoly guy riding around in like a the Monopoly car, or like someone made like Scooby Doo Mystery Machine and like stuff like that. You could make anything. There was like Mario Kart knockoff. You could make like anything basically.
But
you can make your own tracks. You could build your own tracks. People built their own tracks, and it was awesome. And I feel like that's what we need. That, but like again, and ideally on PC because it's a better market because everyone can play it, right? Like more
just
people
makes
can
like
play
games nights easier, like connectivity and how global it goes as well.
Right, Dad is telling us we've got a warning. We're talking too much. We need to get a guest on soon, or we're going to run out of time. Dad, sorry.
Really bringing back memories of living at home again. I'm sorry to you.
I like to think in your home, Dad was there like, lifting up a bit of paper through the window, like Sean talking too much. Bring on guest.
And then it's just like, oh, is your friend round again? I'm just like, no, I'm talking to myself because I don't have friends.
I cry.
Oh God. So
right.
Jack, what is the next section of our cast of the pod?
The next section, which will be of no surprise to anybody, is we're bringing on a bloody guest. And as we've mentioned already, they are absolutely gorgeous.
Small.
I, for one, would give him a big kiss on the face if he was right here.
Okay. Yes.
He isn't here right now, but if he was, I'd kiss him on the face again.
Yes. I think, what is the best way you would describe this handsome person in 3 words? What were we thinking? You go first.
Wolverine, but sexier.
No, I wanted to do that.
No, I did.
What you do this for? You know what I'm gonna? I would describe him as double tap rip. Oh, he's so angry.
That's perfect.
He's so angry. I can feel it.
All right. Well, there's no better time to introduce our very own Mr. Exelios. Hey, Exelios. Hello.
Hey, Exelios.
Hey, guys.
What a sexy man.
My God.
Oh, glowing.
I'm glowing, yeah.
You are glowing.
Is that the moisturizer you're using? Oh my God, link it to me.
I will, right after the podcast.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Very, very nice. We're so glad to have you and have you on the podcast. No, we're glad that we had you, and then so
yeah, basically.
We've had him in a jacuzzi, we've had him on a bed, we've had him the jacuzzi had cheese in it at the time, possibly as well. Jacuzzi cheese, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, Guinness as well, I think.
There was Guinness
other stuff. Green
Aga-
stuff in the end.
Again,
Oh, God.
Hannah, I think we made up a name Lake House for you because it was a lake house. But that wasn't
Yes.
us that put Guinness in that jacuzzi.
Yeah,
that was
that wasn't
already
us.
there when we got there.
Yeah. It was other sexy, tall Swiss French men. Yes.
I'm
My
French.
God.
I have the biggest question before we start, okay? And you are going to hate me for this, kind of.
God.
So,
I'm all
Exelios,
ears.
you know how away from keyboard is the English term for being away from the keyboard. Who would have
Yeah.
known? So
Yeah.
when I'm gonna butcher this so hard, loin de clavier. That's away from keyboard in French, correct?
Loin du clavier. Yeah. That was.
So when you're playing with your French people, do you say LDC instead of AFK?
Well, no, we actually just type in AFK.
Why? Like, do you not like that? That's so weird. Is it not? Is it because like I know AFK is like wildly known across the globe, but like, do you not just say Loin de Clavier?
No, we literally say AFK, AFK, literally
I've
with
got.
the French.
I'm
Yeah,
using that.
literally with the French accent,
That's
because
so interesting.
well, it's because it's let's say a gaming term, and most gamers tend to game in
Yeah.
English, even if their native language is something else.
Yeah,
And it just
that's
caught on like
interesting.
that.
I
Like
like
we
that.
also say LOL. We do have a French version for that. It's mort de rire, which
Okay,
is
I think I prefer LOL.
MDR,
Oh,
basically.
MDR. Oh, that's what that
And
means.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was not the question I thought you were going to ask, Sean. Like that
Yeah,
was
I like
actually,
to. I like to
that's
build
quite,
up.
that's quite a normal question. Like when at Christmas, yeah, you get a present and you're like, that's the thing I wanted. That's that game I asked for, and then you open it and then you're like, that's just not the thing I wanted, and you feel that disappointment of wave, and you're like, oh, thanks, Nan, and you sort of already planning that you're going to take it into exchange it for another game. That was the build up to the question, followed by you unwrapping that question. That's what I felt
I am.
when you
I
said
am.
that question. I was disappointed, and it took me back to my childhood when my nan bought me a game for a Sega Saturn. And I didn't even have a Sega Saturn, so I had to take it to Ross Records and change
Oh.
it in for a Mega Drive game.
Oh well, I do apologize, but I am saving the nuggets until later on, so we can really, really get Exelios deep.
Oh
You know.
baby,
But
Oh
we
yeah.
have some questions, Exelios. If we
hell
could
yeah.
just shine like a light on you and strap you into the chair and then pull you. What is the earliest game you can remember playing? So, like when you were small, what game did you play? Like
Uh,
small.
yeah, it was a Game Boy game, the first Game Boy game console
Oh,
that came out, and it was called Nail and Scale. It was difficult to describe. Basically, you control a little man, and you had to do all these mazes to find a door to get to the next stage, and you had to shoot nails in different monsters that would cross paths with you. And every 10 stages, you would have a boss to kill. I finished that game only like twice. It has 51 stages, and yeah, I think that's the first.
interesting.
Yeah, the first game I can really remember playing. I don't remember. I also had Tetris on Game Boy at that time. I
Mm,
didn't play it that often. And I'm talking about like when I was 4 or 5 years old.
mm.
So
Damn.
I
Is
love
yeah,
there
that.
is there a story to it? Like, is it just a dude with a nail gun that like accidentally fell into a maze and then he's now doing 51 mazes?
there kind of is a story, but you really have to imagine it. Basically, you're in a dungeon and you're just trying to fight your way to the dragon that's in the end, which is the last boss, and which is a huge pain to kill, by the way.
With a nail gun.
I can't wait. Like coming in 2025, Nintendo's Nail and Scale, the film.
That could
It's
be
just
nice.
like could he like how does he run out of nails? Does he find
No,
nails
no,
on
no,
the
no.
way?
No, you have the basic nail where you have unlimited ammo, but you have some special nail types. For example, there's an explosive one because you also have to, for example, break blocks that block your path.
Oh,
And
okay. Do you
the
get
way you do
toenails
that,
as well?
No. But at least there was one good thing about that game is that you didn't lose any HP when you fell from a huge distance.
Oh, one of
You would
those
just
games, yeah.
you would
Yeah, it
just
really
fall.
prepares you for modern day games where you just like, oh, is there full damage? And the only way you can find out is if you just jump off a cliff and see if it works.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that's good.
Nail and
But
No,
yeah,
that's
scale.
really
I
interesting.
have really, really fond memories of that game, and I think
Oh,
I
good.
downloaded it on my ROM station, but I haven't
Oh,
played it in, I don't know, maybe 7, 10 years, something like that.
I've never even heard of that game, and it sounds.
me
Oh,
neither.
also, Sean, it really reveals the year you were born in when you're like ask if there's some sense to because games like back in the day, like on Game Boy and
Yeah.
stuff, like people were just like, let's pick two things, like look at Mario when they sat there and they went like plumber, mushrooms, let's go. What can we do with this?
Pipes Princess.
Yeah, and like so, like they were like, right, there's some guy sat in his garage, right, and he probably sat there, had a Dungeons and Dragons poster on the wall, and he was like, right, I've got to pick two things in his garage to come up with a game. There's my nail gun, dragon, I've got it, nail and scale, perfect. What else do you need to know?
Jesus
That was our
Christ.
old games. They were just chaotic. Like I played, like there's one called Dizzy. I don't know if you've ever played this or heard of it. It's called Dizzy, and
Dizzy?
like
No.
you were just an egg, like, and you just walk. It was kind of. I can't really remember it very vividly, but I remember thinking this is absolutely terrible. It was like
That doesn't even make sense. Do you ever get? I'm not going to ask any story questions. I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah,
but
I'm
Dizzy.
sure there's a thick story behind it. You know, the lore of Destiny 2.
If there was, I can't wait to see the movie. Dizzy, the movie coming in 2025.
Is it?
The origin story.
And if there is a movie, the only way you'll know is on this podcast. So please follow and tune in every bi-weekly Saturday at 5 p.m. UK time. Yes.
Oh yeah. Also,
That
we
should be
probably
an
have.
advertisement.
Do we have like intellectual property rights? We said that we came up with that as a film idea, right? So if you want to make a
Yes.
film about an egg called Dizzy,
Technically. Yeah.
you now owe us some money. Or
And if you want to make a different sort of film with me, I'm single and I'm still yet to get a girlfriend.
and the precursor to that question should tell you why Sean is still single.
What does that mean? I'm nice.
You are a bloody treasure. And also, this is like
know you.
episode. What are we on? 4? It's episode
69.
something, and we still no one's found Sean a girlfrind yet. Like,
Yeah,
guys,
it's
you
kinda-
are really
kinda
letting us down.
embarrassing.
I am.
Unironically, the
so
worst
sad.
wing women. Is that right? Wing people. Yes, you are bad.
Winging a leg, people.
No, all right, I'm quitting. All right, it's been nice. Bye.
All right, that's a nice name and scale. I like that. I need to look that up after because I've never heard of it, and I want to see what it looks like now because it sounds in my
nail
head
scale.
how I picture it is probably way different to what it actually looks like. I'm quite excited.
Yeah, I think. Well, remember 1992? So yeah,
I can't
very
remember
old
that.
game.
Anyway, it's been nice knowing Sean, but he's no longer allowed in the community for being having a younger age than us.
It is what it is.
1992,
But you know
yeah.
you know what the problem is there, Jack? Your parents
Right.
were feistier sooner than mine.
They are probably older. All right. Next question. Exelios. Exelios. I'm just going to stare into your eyes for a moment because look at them. They're so bloody sexy.
So blue.
What is the game that's had the biggest impact on you in your life?
Oh yeah.
What game's really stuck with you and why?
Okay, well, this is going to be a very big surprise to you, but it's World of Warcraft.
Oh, wait,
I
World of
am
Warcraft.
shocked.
What's that? Is that Mr. Pandaria?
I love Mr. Pandaria.
Yeah. So that expansion was basically when I took my 3 expansion break, basically. But yeah, World of Warcraft started playing it in 2014. That when it came out.
2004.
2004, yeah. So
Awesome.
started playing it then. And yeah, it's had a huge impact on my life because it was basically, well, it was beautiful at the time. Now the graphics could be upgraded a bit,
Unreal.
but at the time, the storyline, the immersion, the graphics, the world basically was just amazing. I mean, discovering. I spent hours just questing, trying to
Yeah.
level 60. Um, they even know about raids and PvP and rankings and any of that shit. I was just like basically in another world than the real world. And that's what really got me hooked on it because at that time I was also struggling with some personal issues,
Yeah.
and it was basically a way to run away from it and then come back to real life. But at some point, well, that dynamic shifted, and I was like, oh, I really, really like this game, and I got a little bit too hooked on it.
A little bit.
On Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm.
Nice.
Started getting hooked near the end of Burning Crusade, but yeah, at Mists of Pandaria, I just stopped.
Loved it. Yes.
No, I didn't really like it at all, and I think it's also because, well, that coincided with the period of my life where I was active, started working, had a job, adult responsibilities, and I just phased out. And I started playing again, well, during COVID, near the end of BFA,
Yeah.
and haven't stopped playing since.
Oh, did you meet any really cool prop paladins in Arena on your human paladin called Freedom on your journey at all? Don't know why I'm being so specific, but just a quick, weird question, broad question.
Yeah, I remember one arena where I did an arena with that character you're mentioning.
Slowly, please.
And well, basically, he died right after killing another one. We were in 2v2, and I basically dueled what was it? I think an armed warrior. Oh, Resto Shaman. There you go.
Yeah.
I basically dueled a Resto Shaman that, well, did a lot of mistakes, and that was actually pretty fun. And funnily enough, that was good enough for him to invite me to his in-game community called.
Oh, and
What's it
Exelios,
called again? It's called
my
Grimwood, I
mind's a
think.
bit hazy. Could you just let me know what community that is again? It's so weird. It just keeps escaping my mind.
Yeah, I think it's called Grimwood. I think I'll have to double
Grimwood.
check.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know
Grimwood.
Grimwood. Oh, it's that really cool place, Heaven on Earth. I think. I keep thinking of famous names, and it's not. It's really hurt my head. Just Gandhi said it again. The third quote. I know I need to
Hang
stop
on.
quoting
The
somebody,
only
but-
famous person you could think of is Gandhi. Like
Listen, yeah, Jack, I'm struggling.
there is like a pantheon of people you could choose from. Why is Gandhi?
sorry.
Why Gandhi?
Medusa said that the community members were really hard.
Medusa. Gandhi was real. Medusa's fictional.
Oh my god!
Oh my
Where are we? What are we doing?
Oh my god. Medusa famously, that real person famously said you should join Grimwood Gaming. It's an excellent community. I didn't turn any of them to stone with my
You don't
snake
know,
hair.
like, the story of how like Medusa is actually real. Like they went into a pet shop with their like son, and then because they were wearing a magnetic hat, all the snakes, because they're metal, snakes are metal. They went to like they're magnetized onto the. Are you crying, Jack?
It's
I know
pain.
it's a really sad story.
The tears of pain.
Those metal snakes like zapped to her head, and then that's it. Just forget about her being like really ugly and cursed, and you know the actual story. But that's what happened in Nuneaton, by the way.
well, Gandhi's from Nuneaton too, so maybe Gandhi and Magnetic Medusa knew each other.
Magnetic Medusa.
Gandhi and Magnetic Medusa.
Oh
I love
my god!
that.
What question are we on? Are we
Before we create more characters based on magnets for some reason. Magnets in like Greek mythology. Your answer as well, but would it be because WoW's quite a big game, right? So would you say specifically like was there an expansion that in particular had like the biggest impact, or because it's so many, would you say it was just the game as a whole?
No, I'll say the Wrath of the Lich King expansion really had the biggest impact. I think it's the expansion I had the most uptime on. I was doing raids like ranked PvP 2v2 arenas with my best friend from high school. We did amazingly well. Back in the day, we were playing. He was
Is it a priest?
Holy Paladin.
Oh,
yeah, Holy Paladin. He also had a priest, but he mained Holy Paladin, and I was on my Feral. And
yeah.
we loved the most hated comp at that time. That was double Frost Mage. I loved that comp because shapeshifting just did everything for you. I mean, any cloth wearer that feared or snared or rooted you, the Feral could do everything against that because shapeshifting got rid of snares and roots, and you could spam it. Didn't hardly cost any mana. You had healing touch as well. That could be every 5 combo points spent instant cast. No mana touch. You had innervate, so if my healer had his mana depleted, I could just innervate him.
You got symbiosis as well at that period.
No, not as fair. Not maybe it was in the healer tree, a talent tree, but it wasn't in the feral one.
Oh, okay.
And there was also the berserk that immuned to fear.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved warlocks at that time because I was like, oh, there's a warlock. I'm gonna go on first fear. Okay, berserk right now.
Just sit there training him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you got a favorite character, like famous World of Warcraft in-game character?
Yeah, I think it's Illidan Stormrage.
Ooh, nice.
Good choice.
Very
The anti-hero, right? Like he's
yeah,
that's a good pick.
Very strong character, 100%.
Yeah, the anti-hero that basically he was on the good side, just not in a good way.
Yeah. Nice. In that case, let's move on. What is the worst game you've ever played, and why was it so terrible?
Well, I don't think I've ever played a game I would qualify as bad. Because
we can change that.
Oh yeah.
To ruin every game for you.
I mean, I've tried out a lot of games. Like for example, when I was staying at a friend's house, or trying out free games or anything like that. But I mean, games that didn't inspire me, I just didn't continue playing them. I played them for maybe an hour just to get a feel of them, and if no feeling was there, I'd just move on to something else. Plus, I've been playing WoW like a lot, so didn't play a lot of anything else during that time.
Interesting.
I really like that.
Quite open-minded.
Before
I do consider you a very open-minded person, so yeah, I can see that.
Before we move on, just a little reminder: we've got our Daddy T, who is looking after us today. So if you have any questions about anything that we say that you want to ask me or Sean or Exelios, you can pop them in the chat, and T will take note of them, and he will let us know. Or maybe he'll just tell you, F off, I'm not interested. Who knows?
I don't know.
But he's our dad, and we trust him completely.
In charge of us.
We just do. We do what he says. He's also making sure we stay on time. And I think we're doing a bad job at that. So we should probably carry on. Wait, who did the last? I did it. Go on, Sean. You can have the next question.
Wait, no, I did. I said the worst game. T. Jack's off the rails.
T. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, Daddy T. I'm sorry. You did. I forgot about that. So, what did you even say for the worst game? There's got to be something you've played that you thought was crap, right? Or like just the least enjoyable game, if we want to use that metric.
Yeah, okay. So the least enjoyable games I played
Was it
are
Arena with Sean?
Oh, I'm
no,
crying.
no, come on.
Oh, thanks, Exelios. See,
That
this
would
is
be
why we
harsh.
bring you on here to make me feel better
It's
about my life.
it's Mythics with Sean tanking.
Oh, okay, never mind. There it is, boys.
No,
I
it,
swear, if I see any comment in the chat talking about my PvEing, I will go back to PvPing. I'm waiting for Reiner pop up. I'm gonna cry.
no, I think the not bad, but the most frustrating game I played was Rocket League.
Rocket
Oh,
League.
good
Interesting.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why was
So,
it? Why was it frustrating?
well, it was frustrating when I started to do ranked matches, ranked games, and it's just that it's kind of like a whole other world. I mean, I started playing Rocket League maybe like a year ago, just because well, it's convenient. You can do very quick games and then log off and you're done, and it's just to empty your head. But at some point, I started doing a lot more games, and well, after you get a certain XP, you start well. Yeah, you always fall into games with people who have similar XP as you do, and it's just that the techniques and the way the game is carried out are way different. I mean, like, how the hell did he do that? How the hell can I block that? And
Yeah.
you fall into this world where you feel overtaken actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I would say that is the frustrating game. I haven't played it in like 6 months now. But I'm not going to qualify it as a bad game. I mean, the graphics are good. It's fluid. The physics are actually pretty nice too, which is also something important to me.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, it's just that yeah, it's frustrating because I knew I was like, oh man, if I wanted to keep up with these guys, I would have to spend hours on this game, and I've already done that once in my life, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
one single game where I can really focus on, and I'm not too bad at it.
Yeah. It's turned from that short period game where you get like a short burst of enjoyment to one where you sort of have to because you've
Yeah,
surpassed
it's
the
being a
threshold of it. Yeah.
and yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
ready to walk through that door at that time, and I don't think I'll ever be. Not for another game. I think one
Yeah.
already.
I think
It's
like
similar with
it's
Apex Legends as well. Sorry, go on, Jack.
no, I was going to say the same kind of thing. Like I think games reach a saturation point where where people drop off, and then all that's left are people that like really fucking love that game. So if you don't get
Yeah.
into that game until later, or you don't revisit it again until later, there's you who, and there's probably a few others, but like you're a minority who are like relatively new or relearning the game versus groups of people because there can't be any matchmaking because it just doesn't. They're always going to put you against people that are much better, right? So like games like examples I can think of are like CS:GO, right? That's a really good example. If you picked up and tried to play CS:GO now, like I've played it like 2-3 hours max in my life. So if I tried to play that now, it's been out for a long time, I would get fucking destroyed because the most people that play it have been playing it for absolutely ages and they know the maps inside
Yeah.
out, they know the guns, they know what to do. And so it creates a huge barrier of entry. And I think Rocket League is in a similar league because it's the same kind of thing, right? Like most people that play it have played it like fucking loads. So they know it so well
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah, I was
going
just
up
about to
against
say
that.
this is like League because T has just said it's just like League. It is. Completely agree.
You're right, Dad.
And as
Thanks, Dad.
as thanks, Dad. Content. Woo. Yeah. And it's like when you play the game as a new person, there's not like a new person like area. It's like you literally play with other people. There's bots, but you don't get to learn very much from that. And if you make one mistake, it's like as if you're playing top ranks, and then you get extremely harshly flamed, and it's terrible. And thankfully, T stuck with it because, like myself, Pingers, Ryana, etc., was there. But if that was T on his own, no, he most likely would have just left the game. And it's not the game that's bad. It's the game is League of Legends is a fantastic strategy game, really good down to the T. You can really itemization and etc. Like movement, psychology. It's just people are so rude and they don't realize that like people start in the same place.
Yeah.
It's so
It
weird,
makes me
but
it
it's
makes me
sad.
feel the same way about in WoW the solo shuffles
Oh
now that are
yeah, very good example.
Hmm.
that's why I already told you that, but
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of trouble doing slow shuffles, even when there's a weekly quest or something like that. It's not the game itself; it's the potentially toxic players that you might encounter that kind of
Mm.
drive you away from that.
Yeah, it is.
I understand
Yeah,
that.
it is one of those, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Apex Legends is also one of those sort of threshold games as well, because you can play the game, and if you're on your own or with a duo and you go on trio, if you get a random person that actually boosts or carries you because they're like a Smurf account,
Mm.
and you win that initial game after maybe like 10 games or something, the matchmaking will actually put you with higher people because they're like, oh, okay, they've won their game quite early in the account. We're going to start putting you with other people. And fuck me, the skill set change difference is like disgusting. Like it's almost like one of those games where if someone was to come to me and said, oh, I want to play Apex Legends, I'll be like, lose every game for about 30 games on purpose. If you're about to win, just go and jump off, like, and die in game. And just not win, because that matchmaking will throw you into hell, and you will not enjoy the game because there's some sweaty people on Apex Legends, like a lot of games. But yeah, it's an interesting concept of matchmaking because it does eliminate Smurfs that are farming like badges, like special badges where you need like 4,000 damage or 20 kills in the game in one game. It just means, oh, if you stomp one game, boom, you're in the next matchmaking, which is fantastic because a lot of games do struggle with the matchmaking thing again. Valorant's really good because it forces you to be level 20, which is quite a big journey before you go into ranked. So matchmaking in casuals is a bit, hit and miss, as we found out, haven't we, Jack? But once you get into ranked, it's like everyone's sort of like at the same level. There'll always be that one that trickles through because I think you can buy Valorant accounts just like League of Legends accounts. But yeah, interesting topic there.
All right.
Daddy T, I'm sorry.
We're sorry, Dad. Question. The next question.
Five?
Question this one. 4. I don't know.
Question
I've
this
lost
one.
track. We've asked so many questions. Question this one.
69.
All right. So we talked about the worst game you ever played, or the least enjoyable game, right? Which is the
Yes.
diplomatic way of saying worst game.
Diplomatic.
Rocket League developers, if you're listening, Exelios says your game is trash. Don't bother making any other games. He hates it. What's the best game you've ever played, and why was it so great?
Oh, it's Zelda Ocarina of Time on Nintendo 64.
Who would have saw that coming?
Beautiful
Are we
choice.
talking to Kasuki?
Beautiful choice. Why? Why? I know why I like it, but why do you like it?
Why?
Why?
It was literally the first game I got hooked on. It was the first 3D game I played, actually. When I got the Nintendo 64, I got it with Star Fox 64, Super Mario 64, and Zelda Ocarina of Time. And I played those 3 games basically at the same time. Loved them all, actually. But Zelda had something more. The world was as realistic as possible for the N64. That was like hugely amazing. And I don't know, it's like I could feel myself being immersed, like being Link instead of just controlling him. I mean, as a kid, you can easily imagine being the hero instead of just controlling the hero. And I also loved, the mechanics. I mean, now they seem pretty basic and simple, but it came out in 1996, so it's still a long way a long time ago. And the dungeons, the temples, I mean, they were amazing. Every single one of them. Well, I hated Jabu Jabu, but I still hate it to this day. And I still do runs of Ocarina of Time on ROM Station because it just brings back so many fond memories of getting being a gamer, uh, having friends playing the same game and asking like, "Oh, did you finish the Water Temple already?" And kind of like the first step into competitive gaming, which of
Oh,
course I
that's
was never
nice.
good at because I could never play more than an hour a day or
Yeah.
4 hours a week,
Yeah.
depending on how my grades at school were doing. But still, it was magnificent. I mean, down to the last, down to Ganondorf and Ganon and Ganondorf escaping the Dark Castle, running into Ganon. I mean, that whole the end of the game was actually really really well written. The beginning of the game to me was a little bit too slow paced, but I mean, as a tutorial phase, I guess it was necessary to kind of understand the mechanics, the basic mechanics. But yeah, that is my number one game of all time.
You know what?
Nice.
I still hear like when you play the
The
tunes on the
voices.
ocarina, and then it like carries on playing like the rest of like the kind of
Yeah,
instrumental
yeah, yeah,
kicks
yeah.
in. Like I still have them all in my head. So like even if I just hear the first few notes, like my brain just finishes the rest of the ocarina song and then brings in the instrumental that the game used to put on the end of it, and I'm like,
Oh,
man, it hits you like
nice.
it's really like. And also, you talk about it being like the long tutorial, but I think it was like a huge leap from the Zelda game that came before it because it was 3D, right? So suddenly you were
Yeah,
like thrust into
it was
this like
first
insanely
3D.
different world. Like
Yeah,
that's
This is
so
gonna hurt
cool.
everyone, but I've never played Zelda.
It would hurt me if I was surprised.
I've watched Green Lantern.
Yeah,
And
you've never
another
mentioned it.
podcast where Green Lantern is mentioned. Oh, yeah.
can double flame himself actually.
No, it's really good. The tutorial is probably around that time is probably a tutorial not just for Zelda, but for games in general. So that might have been why it was slow because it's like this is how games are played. This is how games are sort of done.
Yeah,
So it might just be that, like nowadays, the tutorial islands are literally just, we know you can play a game. This is how you play our game, sort of thing. So
yeah.
it might not have been their intention, but it might have been,
Well, it was also one of the first games that was developed in 3D, like Jack said, and
yeah,
well, maybe they didn't know. Well, they did their best effort to make a decent tutorial, and I'm
yeah,
not gonna blame Nintendo the way they developed Ocarina of Time. I mean, it is what it is, and well, you get a very very good sense of how the game works uh, in the Deku tree. So so that is actually pretty nice. It was actually well done. Now, well, it's what 20 years later, a little over 20 years later, and while game developers have learned from their gaming community what they expect, they shortened or optimized the tutorials, and both sides are learning equally.
yeah.
Yeah, rip the old Deku tree.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Old Deku Tree. Yeah.
I don't know what this means, but RIP.
He dies. He dies.
I'm assuming he did because that's what rest in peace means.
Oh,
No,
all right.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that
That's
is cool.
very nice. Question 69. If you could wipe the memory, wait, no, wipe your ass, no, ass memory. If you could wipe your ass with a certain material, what would it be?
If I could wipe my ass with a certain material, mm, I think toilet paper.
Why? Who
I
wipes?
There's got to be a.
Who
Oh.
wipes? Haha. Anyway, okay, moving on to the next question. Question T. I'm sorry, T. Listen, I'm sorry. Question 69, the one after 69. If you could wipe the memory of any game from your mind, what would it be and why?
Well, I actually have two answers to that. It would be Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Ooh, Medusa's Mask. I've never played
Because
that game.
because you've mentioned the Queen already. Like, why would you wipe Majora's Mask? Is it because you loved it or because you hated it?
I loved it
so
as well. It's well, it was so different in the storyline. I mean, the story is so much darker and grimmer, but the mechanics actually were so amazing. I mean, the mask mechanics were the morphing mask mechanics were so good, and I remember struggling to get the Fierce Deity mask with those four trials you had to do in the end. The Goron one was a pain to get through. Nevertheless, I loved it. If I could wipe, let's say, to be more precise, a specific part of my favorite game, it would be the Stone Tower Temple in Majora's Mask. That temple was amazing, and to this day, I've not experienced anything in gaming that got me as hyped and hooked as the Stone Tower Temple. Basically, when you just flip it upside down, I mean, you're like, wow. And the music also was so good as well.
Oh, that's nice.
I loved. We spoke about Majora's Mask with someone else. I can't remember who it was now, but I love Majora's Mask.
Not me.
It was definitely harder than Ocarina, and definitely
Oh yeah, definitely.
way darker. And I remember like the thing that still haunts my nightmares now is the moon.
Oh yeah,
that face. I was just like, that was nightmare fuel. Like even now as an adult, I'm like, fucking hell, that's pretty bloody weird. It's like a uncanny valley style. Like I don't know, it's just very weird, very creepy, like a terrifying thing for a game that is ultimately aimed at like universal age group.
Yeah,
I think
crazy.
Exelios just tried to pull the face of the moon, but that wasn't about that wasn't like nightmaric. That was my desk has just risen. Honestly,
okay. Imagine that with orange glowing eyes, and the moon is falling.
Oh, well, I've lost.
I'm also thinking of like you made me thinking now like the moon from Daddy T's telling us off. I'll shut up and move on to the last question in a sec. Sorry T, sorry Daddy T. No, the moon on Mighty Boosh. You know, like that. Have you ever watched? Sure, you haven't watched Mighty Boosh, have you ever? No. Obviously, have you ever seen Mighty Boosh?
I googled it one time. Is it the 4 candles? No, not candles.
No, that's
4 matches. No. Carry on.
Four candles is like Ronnie Corbett from like that's like the I don't know 70s, 60s or something. I don't know 70s. I think it was 70s. Mighty Boosh is like 2000s. I think 2000s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, late 2000s, something 2000s. Anyway, the point is Noel Fielding is in it and he's the moon in it. A very different moon to Ganondorf and less terrifying, but just as creepy. All right. Yeah. Sorry, Daddy T. I'm going to do the last question now. Here's the last question. What is your experience of being a gamer through the years, and how do you feel it's like changed you, or how do you think society's opinions changed around gaming? Like, what do you think about it?
Well, when I started being a gamer in 2004 on World of Warcraft, that was kind of like the big thing, the big game at the moment, and you would just be classified as someone who had no life if you were playing World of Warcraft. And well, that didn't bother me the least because I didn't really care about what people thought of me at that time. It's something I didn't put on any resume I sent, fortunately. But yeah, well, I saw in my hometown that gaming started dividing the young society into two basic groups. One group where I fell in was okay, you're a gamer, but you're still doing good in your studies, in your academics, or in your job. And the other group was you totally fell into the game and you're in a bottomless pit and you're unwilling to come out.
Yeah.
You live for the game.
Mm.
You don't live for your life anymore. And I saw that dichotomy arise before my eyes while I was in high school, and I saw a few people I knew in high school drop out because of that.
Yikes.
Which was sad, and well, and it was also understandable. I mean, with World of Warcraft, it was a huge thing. I mean, it was so new. It was amazing. You could get hooked on so easily, whatever age you were, actually. And it was just fucking amazing. But since nothing like that had ever existed, it was the first iteration of such a thing. Well, society, well, kind of experienced it firsthand and was like, oh, how do we deal with this? And basically, those two groups, in my perspective, those two groups came into being. And how it evolved from then to now, well, I think it flattened out. I think, for example, psychologists and psychiatrists are more aware of what gaming can have as negative consequences for adults or children or teenagers. I think schools and high schools and maybe not universities, are also aware of what it can induce. But I also saw a rise of the professional gamers appear, and the professional streamers, and monetized Twitch channels, and oh my god, it's taken such another huge proportion that I'm barely understanding. I mean, well, I like streaming just my day-to-day World of Warcraft life when I ever get a chance to log on, and I don't do that with a goal to get monetized at some point. I just do it because I like sharing what I appreciate, actually. And random people hop on my Twitch channel, and I'm like, oh, I like what you do. I'm like, thanks, bro. And if they don't like it, I'm like, oh, well, okay, too bad. I'm sorry for you, bro. But that's pretty much it.
That's really nice.
I love
And
that.
streaming, for example, is more a hobby for me than something I'm willing to a serious hobby. I mean, I am taking streaming seriously, but it's never gonna go above being a hobby. I have even more serious hobbies than that. Like I play music in two bands, and well, I also have a job, and those two aspects are more important to me than streaming. But streaming is not something I'm gonna take lightly. Gonna take as seriously as I can, but I'm gonna devote if I have no more time to devote to streaming in comparison to my job or my personal life, well, streaming is gonna have to go, and I'll come back to it when I have time again.
Nah, that's very respectable. It's one of those where it's just like addiction can take over so easily and so quickly. Like you said, with the high school students, people dropping out because of the addiction.
Yeah.
It's one of those where you don't really know like how bad it is until it's too late, and then it's like the consumption of it is like quite like strong. And then obviously it like procs like rage and anger, and it really induces negative thoughts and feelings and actions into the person that's actually playing the games, unless they realize they're a bit more open-minded to understand like what is going on, and they sort of ask the question of like, should I be this angry? It's a video game, like it's not necessarily affecting my life completely. But yeah, it's a weird one. I just wanted to say as well, it's like I think it was in I can't remember where it occurred. It was like college. When it's like it became like esports, and like you said, like famous streamers and like nerds almost coming out, and then it being sort of accepted because everyone started to promote it and say this is good, this is positive, this is great. And I know I'm a clown and I make jokes, but like this is quite similar to like LGBTQ and that, because everyone's sort of like this is accepted now. I'm happy with myself, and I'm really, this is me, and I can be me because there's other people being them. So it's like everyone's almost like huddled around each other, not necessarily like on purpose, but it's because everyone's reading more about esports and how good it is, and like different games, and there's loads of streamers, there's so many people talking about games nowadays. There's merchandise, people are wearing like t-shirts with Zelda on, and they're not going to be like, oh, you know, someone might see me in my Zelda shirt, oh my god, like I'm going to be struck down and I'm going to be like sworn at.
Yeah.
I feel like it's exactly the same with the
It's not
LGBTQ
taboo
community.
anymore.
That's exactly what it. Yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's very similar to that as well. And yeah, it's just really nice, and I think that's what, again, plugging the community. That's what Grimwood wants to encapsulate as well. We want to get everyone involved and know that being themselves is going to be the best thing that they can do for us and themselves. If you're spending too much time to try and be someone else, it's going to harm you in the long run. So we try and make it as nice and easy for everyone. And it's just, we want to see the real you. And we've seen that a lot in the community, and like the members and the existing members, you know, coming out of their shell, and it just makes things so nice, and it's so warm, and you come home, you don't just you don't just log on and be like, oh, I'm talking to someone down south and I have no idea who this is, and I feel like I know the inside and outside of Jack. One, because we spoke a lot, and two, because I've had sex with him.
I
Fair
think that is accurate. I can't deny any of those accusations because I took part in them. Yeah, we said this in the last episode, and I say it a lot, but like, I existed on both ends of like the gaming spectrum, right? And there are similarities in that, like, you know, we sort of did have to kind of come out as gamers, be like, you know what, I'm a gamer, and like we're not this like stereotype of a nerd or whatever it used to be back in like sort of 80s. You know, actually, like, it's just a really enjoyable community, and because gaming is now, I believe, one of the most other than pharmaceuticals, I think it's the biggest profit making industry. It's certainly the biggest entertainment industry. Bigger than cinema, bigger than films and TV. You know, huge. It's huge.
Accessibility is
Yeah.
If anything, we've created like cultures within gaming where there's like a divide. But also, I think that gaming has a reputation, right? There's a lot of gaming communities that are very toxic. We spoke about this last week too. I know with Doom, but like it does happen, and I think that like you said, we've created a real. I like to think we've made a safe space in Grimwood, and we'll retain a safe space in Grimwood. And like, you know, we've got people that are sort of come out of their shell, and also like quite literally come out. They've been able to like share really intimate moments of their life with us on a personal level. And it's because I think there is no judgment, there is no room. You know, people that are toxic, like, they don't stay in Grimwood very long because we're very quick to get rid. The community we're cultivating is one of like, you know, acceptance, and we play together and we game together, whether you're shit, whether you're great, it doesn't matter. There's a community within Grimwood that will play that game with you. Shaun and I, like, we do competitive, like at the moment we're playing a lot of Warcraft, so we do like quite competitive like mythic plus key pushing, which is like really difficult content, but also like we'll happily
60,000.
but also we'll go and just do some low level stuff and try and help people and teach them, and yeah, and like even tonight, like on most game nights we do this. And if you're listening and you're not in Grimwood and you want to join us, get on the server quick, because we've got a game night in 50 minutes. And we're going to play some party games and just chill and have fun. And
it's going to be fantastic. Question time. Has anyone got any questions in the audience? I believe one has been thrown in by Daddy T. And if I was to ask myself that question, that would be weird. So, Jack, can you ask me the question that Days has given?
At what age did you lose your? I mean, Shaun,
Daddy.
This is I love you, Daddy. This is a very important. Actually, before I ask this question, I've got a different one that I feel like we need to ask Exelios, because I don't know if he answered or not. Exelios, Pickles.
Yes.
Do you like them?
Yes. All right. Thanks for joining the podcast. Exelios will not be seen in the Grimwood community anymore. All those morals have gone out the window. We accept everyone except pickle lovers.
Yeah, we should have added that little thing at the end.
Hold on. I'll try to do a disappearing act.
Oh yeah, this is really cool. I hope this works because if it doesn't, also for people listening, this isn't good content for you. Exelios can disappear in a plume of smoke through his vape, which is pretty bloody impressive.
That's so good.
We've started doing kind of off the cuff a little poll, which we're going to do regularly, and we will ask guests and talk about it. But Pickles, if you like them, well, you're not welcome in Grimwood. Get out. No, I'm only joking. You can still join us, but we will look down upon you.
Yeah, you'll get a special role.
Yeah, I don't know Pickles. The real question was for Sean from Days. Do you remember that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean? Sean, what's this in reference to, Sean?
It's actually the pudding is in the pie. The yes.
Gandhi 2025. The pudding is in the pie.
So this actually resonated from New World. So when myself and Daisy and Matt was there as well with like the very start server. You know how you had the Lost, those like sort of zombie pirate creatures. I really gave like Pirates of the Caribbean vibes, and where you accidentally sort of like run through one mob and then it takes like it goes on a really weird path, and then it's just like I'm gonna like aggro everything and come to you. And I just remember like Days running around the corner, and then he's just like, Sean, do you know that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean? And then I look behind him, and there's like this a massive horde of like Lost, and I was just like, yeah, you're done, buddy. I'm going the other way.
We've recreated this as well, haven't we? Like recently.
Yes, we have done that recently with the Mythic Key. Thank you, T. The pudding is in the pie. Oh, okay. No, he's just quoted me. Thank you. I thought you were being really helpful then, T. But yeah, we have done it recently where I don't know why, but we were going to do a Mythic 5 freehold, and I was the tank. And T was just like, what will help, Sean? I'll go bear as
400 gold repair. I remember that one.
Because Matt wanted to heal, and then Exelios wanted to play Feral in Mythics. And then we both went tank, and we literally did the entire dungeon in 3 pulls. Like the first pull was 40%. And it was just insane. And then Days accidentally fell down, teleported, aggroed, and then it was just that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean, and then literally the nameplates just went across my screen.
Barely see the screen. It was just nameplates.
Pirates of the Caribbean freehold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But I clipped that and posted it in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, you need to be in the Discord to see it. So discord.gg/Grimwood. Thank you very much. But yeah, my God, it was fun times.
All right.
Literally perfect.
We've got another question. Exelios, this one's for you from K Bear. Okay. This is from K Bear. We can't really do a full podcast, which she's requested, but K Bear loves your accent, I assume. So she said, if in 2 sentences, can you say something in French to lull K Bear to sleep?
Oh.
In 2 sentences, something in French?
You don't have to translate it back if it's naughty. Actually, no, if it's naughty, it'll be picked up by the TOS because there's some French Twitch people.
Il est temps d'aller dormir, sinon j'aurais mangé le fromage.
Cheese!
That's yogurt, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it was cheese.
It's cheese, yeah, it's cheese, exactly.
What? Oh, yeah.
Omelette du fromage. Do you know, I know that because of Dexter's Lab. That's the only reason I know omelette du fromage is a cheese omelette.
And that sentence is wrong. It doesn't mean anything in French. Omelette du fromage.
Are we not like thinking why he's saying cheese?
He's saying
what's the entire translation?
Look, that's just a message. It's just for K-Bear. It's not for us to know, Sean. He could say, look, this is an intimate moment that we're not a part of.
As your leader, Xander, I want to...
It is I, your governor.
It is I, your governor, Xander.
Go to sleep, otherwise there won't be any cheese left.
Oh.
Just because I tried to make up a sleeping sentence with something totally absurd in it. That's it.
Is that because you're going to go and shower and remove the cheese from you?
Oh my God.
Oh, that's vile.
It's like having a pubescent child in the chat. We've had some of those during Grimwood, and then we got rid of them, obviously.
Whoa,
but they were
Jack TOS.
They were literally No, they were just underage children, so we got them out. We didn't know. They were allowed to join Discord servers, but we were like, no, this is an 18 plus server for lots of reasons. And Sean has just demonstrated one of those reasons right now.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What do you mean bad memories, Karis? Has this happened to you before? Has the cheese been lost before? I love cheese.
I don't think that's the memory she's referring to. I think she might be referring to some specific people whose names we won't mention. However, yeah, they caused some problems.
It is what it is.
All right, Exelios, it has been absolutely fucking amazing having you on here.
A bit sexy,
You are-
I would say.
Such a pleasure to be here.
It's one of those, you know, where you just get confetti all over you and you're just happy. It feels like that, but I don't have confetti over me, but I'm happy.
Don't you want to have just body glitter all over you?
Body glitter. What does that mean? Is that like, you know, when you've got like
That's a real thing.
dry skin on your head and someone's just like scratching it? Is that like body confetti?
I call it skin flakes, basically.
Don't think that's body glitter is a real thing, right? You don't think that's body? Have you not heard body glitter before? You must have heard of body glitter.
Have
As
you
in
never
the
been
glitter
to a
goes
strip
on the
club
body,
before?
or like?
Yeah, you need to go to a strip club for lots of reasons, in fact. But one of them is body glitter. You can ask them about it.
Because that's where Grimwood's hosted, right? Grimwood Discord / yes, join us.
Jesus Christ! All right,
I'm here too, guys. Join us.
Thank you very much, Exelios, for coming on. Sean, thank you for doing this podcast with me. It's been an experience that I will definitely try to forget. No, it's been fucking awesome. Thank you so much. So, fucking hell, we forgot this last week. Got to do it before we go. So, if you want to, this is your game list, Exelios. You know, like This Is Your Life. Sean might remember that show. I barely remember that show because I was already young. This Is Your Life. This is your life in games. So, if you want to live the same life as Exelios, all you need to do is play these games. Nail and Scale. I'm going to look that up. I can't wait to look that up.
Yeah, I want to as well.
World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King. We got Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Zelda, Majora's Mask. That's all of them. That's Exelios' life in games. So you need to play them. Also, we nearly always do a social media post with those games on. So if you forgot what I just said and you can't be bothered to listen again, don't worry because it's going to be in a social media post soon. So don't worry about it.
Also, Nail and Scale is going to be the chat up line for when I find someone that's taller than me. Get it? Because I'll nail and I'll scale them.
And I think like you're making this find a girlfriend thing for you really difficult, all right? Like stop getting your own bloody way.
I don't mind taller people. Taller people are great, you know. I can they can. Okay. Thanks for joining.
And on that note, thanks everyone. Bye. We love you. Bye. Bye. Bye.